They say an app a day keeps the bill collectors at bay. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to write one life insurance policy every single day so that you can stay on top of your finances and absolutely crush it coming into 2024. I'm going to be revealing our 4-part approach to predictably write one life insurance policy every single day like clockwork, so you can have business coming to you on a predictable schedule. And basically just have a much more predictable business so that you know like when you're going to be making money and it's not a feast one day and a famine the next, right? We want to write an app a day, and realistically, if you do that consistently, you should be writing about 30 grand a month or even more. So let's go ahead and jump into part number 1 of our 4-part approach to predictably write one policy every single day. And bear with me on this first one because it may seem a little bit obvious, but I'm going to teach you guys something that you may not know. So we're going to talk about number 1, which is activity, right? Believe it or not, to make sales, you do actually have to put in effort and put in activity and output, right? Regardless of how efficient or how leveraged your system is, right? Like if you have people that are coming to you, with their freaking checkbook out ready to buy, or if you're dialing an aged lead list, regardless, you still have to put in high activity, right? So we make about 200 to 300 calls every single day per day, like clockwork. Now we use a triple line dialer, which I'll go a little bit into what that means, but basically this allows us to increase our output with the exact same amount of time that other people are putting in. So what a lot of agents will do is they will dial like this. So they'll get their phone out, they'll start typing in numbers, and they'll call people up, right? Now the problem with that is it freaking takes forever. I have to pull up the phone number, type it in my phone, click the green call button, call the person up, wait for it to answer or them not answer. Then if they don't answer, then I have to dial the next number or click again to call the same number. So it's like all of these little minute tasks that add up over the day and add up over the week and add up over the month and add up over the year, right? So what we like to use is a triple line dialer. And so basically we use a software called Kixie, which basically allows us to call multiple numbers at once, and then whichever number picks up first is the number that we'll be speaking with. So let's say I call Jim, Bob, and Joe. I call all of them at the same time. If Bob answers, it's gonna hang up on Jim and Joe, right? So that's essentially how we do it. The other cool thing is with this triple line dialer is it'll actually locally wrap all of our numbers, which is like a major key. This boosted our answer rate by like double. And so basically we're calling 3 people at once and calling local area codes. So we're able to get so much more output out of the same 200, 300 calls a day, whereas one person, they maybe get, 5 people to answer if they call 200, 300 times. We're getting like 30 to 40 people to answer if we call 200, 300 times, right? And a percentage of those people are turning into quotes, and a percentage of those people are obviously turning into applications. So what I recommend doing is setting a minimum number of dials that you're committing to make each and every single day, right? By doing this, you basically set a minimum standard for yourself. And what you'll realize is when things get tough and things get hard or whatever, you're always going to fall to your standards, right? You're not going to fall to your goals, you're going to fall to your standards, your hygiene standards. So you basically need to set a hygiene standard, right? So regardless of what happens, right? Maybe you go out on the town and you have a crazy party night, like you're going to come home and you're still going to brush your teeth. I hope to God. If not, click off of this video. You probably don't belong on this channel. You probably should get out of sales if you don't brush your teeth. But point being, hygiene standard is just what level you will fall to, right? So you need to set a hygiene standard with dials. Let's say your hygiene standard is 50 dials a day. So some days you might make 300, but at the very least, like if you wake up one day, like if you are alive during the day, you're going to make 50 phone calls. That should only take you like 30, 40 minutes. So it's realistically not that hard, but you need to set a minimum standard. Now, what I recommend doing, we have a little calculator that will tell you how many dials you need to make to get to your goal. So if you open this up, just make a copy. You type in like your comp rate, your AP, like average policy size, different things like that, and it'll actually tell you how many dials you need to make to hit your goal for the year, right? And again, getting back to it, right? You can have the most efficient system possible, but if you don't put in enough effort, you will go absolutely nowhere. So First and foremost, you just need to hit consistent activity. You do that, a lot of this other stuff will start to follow, but make sure you have that first part checked out, because if you don't, none of the rest of the stuff I'm going to talk about is going to matter. Now, number 2 is actually value, right? So what we found is if we focus on consulting and nurturing the leads instead of always trying to get the sale, we actually end up making more money, right? So a couple weeks ago, Julian and I were kind of going back and forth. Julian's my business partner, if you don't know. And we're basically, so our goal, we're trying to build a $100 million insurance agency, right? And so we're, kind of doing different things, split testing different campaign types, testing these different things. And we had a down week, 1 week, right? So we were still averaged a policy a day, but we had like a couple 0 days in a row. We were wondering like, hey, what's going wrong? Why are we not selling policies? And then all of a sudden, Julian and I had a conversation and we said, all right, let's do this. Instead of optimizing for sales, let's pretend like every single person we talk to, regardless if they're a customer or not, has access to our Google review page, right? So if we call them up and they don't buy, they're still going to go leave us a review. If we call them up and they do buy, they're going to leave us a review. Like every single person we talk to is going to leave us a review. And if you approach it with that mindset, what you'll realize is all the sales pressure leaves and you're just trying to serve the person on the other end. So instead of going out and when you're talking to these people trying to get a sale, just pretend like you're trying to give them don't even pretend, give them Chick-fil-A level service and pretend like they can go and leave your review on Google. How different of conversations will you have when you're treating someone with service first versus sales first? And what's so contradictory about it is you'll end up making more sales because you're doing that. So we always since then, we've really focused on leading with value instead of just trying to get a sale. So we'll optimize towards getting a review instead of optimizing towards getting a sale, and that's been a major difference maker for us. Also, our entire sales funnel is basically focused on helping the client instead of just trying to get a sale. You'll understand what this means in just a second. You need to date your prospects. Don't ask them to marry you. I'll explain that in just a minute. But basically, so we've added these different videos. So we'll film videos, film content, film valuable information and put it in a video format, and we'll email it to them over the course of a few weeks. And what we found is that this basically warms and nurtures the prospects up to be willing to speak with us instead of another agent, because everyone is doing the exact same thing, which is telephonically terrorizing these people. And so if we come in and we lead with value, we're just going to absolutely smoke everybody out of the water, right? So you really need to date your prospects, right? You don't want to just ask them to marry you on your first date. Basically, the equivalent of what people are doing when they cold call someone and then ask them for their banking, social, account, and routing number, all on the first phone call, is like walking up to a random stranger and proposing to them without ever having a conversation with them. That's essentially what you're doing. And the fact that not everybody wants to buy from you the first time they hear your voice on the other end of the phone doesn't say anything negative about you or say anything negative about the industry. It more so just says something negative about the way that everybody's marketing, right? Like, you have to build the relationship before you can get things out of people. Like, you have to give them value. You have to prove that you're worthy of them doing business with you before they want to do business with you. So we've restructured our entire pipeline to focus on dating our prospects, right? So we'll give them value here, give them value here, and we continue to be the people that instead of showing up and asking them for things, we're showing up and giving them things. And so that's been a huge shift for us. And really, the tactical way to do that is just filming videos where you're talking about information that would be helpful towards them in solving their problem. So if it's life insurance, send the videos explaining the different things that your prospects ask you the most on the phone. It'll make your job easier on the sales call, and it'll make your prospects like you more. So your call should also be a consultation, not a high-pressure sales call. You need to really provide them value on the call. Give them something valuable. Like, if you're doing term, create a calculator to figure out exactly how much insurance they need so that they don't get oversold. Like, there's different things that you can do, and you basically need to turn it into a consultation instead of a high-pressure sales call. So that's number 2, which is value. We're moving along nicely here. Number 3 is going to be automations. So this is kind of combining what I was talking about a little bit earlier with adding value to them and different things like that. But basically, the automations does all of this stuff automatically in the background, so you don't have to manually do it. So basically, we have automations that are set up that will send emails every single day to our lead list to basically nurture these people and then prompt them to book auto-booked appointments. Right now, we're averaging about 5 to 6 auto-booked appointments every single day coming from these email automations. Because as we build up these leads, as we fill our pipeline, like these people are just going through our email campaigns and we're not having to worry about it. And then they'll just end up booking, and Julian will speak with them and close them into a policy. We also have the email sequences that are basically built out with the videos. So I'll film a video, edit it up, make it nice, a little PowerPoint presentation, giving them value about life insurance, throw that into the email sequence, and then everyone's getting that email week after week after week. Our automations will also prompt responses from leads, and then we are actually able to jump in and take over the conversation and end up closing deals. So like if I have texts that are going out, like, asking them a question, when they respond, we can just jump in and take over instead of trying to automate the whole thing. We found that if you automate getting the response and then manually respond to the response, it ends up looking better than just trying to do AI and automation with everything. So it's translating into auto-booked appointments. We're getting like 5 to 6 a day. So the automations just absolutely crush. Really, I think a lot of people underutilize email. Email is the most valuable channel when it comes to marketing because it costs you nothing to send them. And like nobody really does email marketing right. So automations is number three piece to writing a policy a day. And the fourth piece here, if I can zoom out correctly, is volume, right? You need to have a lot of leads. We are on average getting about 50 new leads every single day, right? So every single day we have 50 fresh, brand new faces coming into our pipeline, entering our automations, getting called. So we don't really we don't sweat it over one lead or one no or one yes. Like it doesn't really matter. And this is part of the reason that we're able to play this whole service game, right? Like what I was talking about earlier, where you're optimizing for a review instead of a sale. The reason we're able to do that is because we have so many leads. You really have to have more leads than time. You have to have more people in your pipeline to call than you can reasonably call, because it allows you to take the sales pressure off and play the numbers game, which is ultimately what you have to do when you're in sales. So give you guys this example. If you're still crying over the guy or the girl who dumped you in 5th grade, like there's probably somebody out there that is still butthurt over somebody that dumped them in 5th grade. But imagine like how silly that would be if they never went back out there. Like they got dumped by one person in 5th grade, and then that was like the end of it for them for their lifetime. And the only reason that somebody would be that upset over one no, one rejection, one dumping, or whatever you want to call it, is simply because they haven't played the numbers game, right? If you don't think that there's a lot of men or women to meet, move to a city like Miami or New York, and you'll meet new people literally every single day. Like there's people everywhere, there's leads everywhere. Like whatever you're optimizing for, dating, insurance, whatever it is, there's tons of people. And really, you just have to play the numbers game so that one no, one yes does not affect your emotions either way. So you basically are just sifting for gold and then nurturing the rest of the people in the pipeline. So you need to have so many leads in your pipeline that it's able to just automate. The automations are spitting out the people on the top that are just ready to go, ready to buy. Those are the people you're talking to. And then the nurturing campaigns, the emails, the videos are bringing the people that are like, I don't know, maybe I don't really trust these people. They're nurturing them to where they're like itchy and ready to buy. So you have these people that are coming in, they're already ready to buy. You're skimming those off the top. And then the rest of them, they're being nurtured and seeing all your videos and all the sequences. And then they're floating up to the surface. Now they're on the top, ready to buy. Hopefully that visual makes sense, but that's essentially how you do it, guys. It starts with the activity. That's why I put that number 1. But it starts with the activity, just having high freaking activity. Like be a psychopath on the phones. Just work your fingers to the bone, but do it efficiently, right? And if you do that, focus on giving value first and then asking second. Automate the nurturing and then just push a freaking like crap load of leads through that system. A policy a day is nothing. It's literally nothing. So with that being said, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I just recently posted a video breaking down the 3 biggest mistakes that insurance agents make that literally ruin their finances, their lives, and sometimes even their marriages. So if you guys want to see that video, click right here. It's going to be on the end screen ready to watch for you. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Enjoy this next video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.